He thought he had her cornered until Jasmine dropped one line that changed the whole hearing. Watch this moment closely. This is where everything flipped. Man, the second Mike Johnson walked in, you could just feel that "I'm running the show" energy all over him. He had that little smirk, the kind that says, "I've got this under control." You know the type. The guy who thinks he's about to own the room, especially when the cameras are rolling. He leans back, adjusts his mic like it's his stage, and starts throwing that rehearsed political tone around. Slow, confident, talking at people, not to them. But Jasmine? Nah, she's different. She's sitting there calm, quiet, reading him like an open book. You can tell she's just letting him dig his own hole. No eye rolls, no interruptions, just that steady, unbothered focus. You could feel the air shift, that pre-storm silence right before thunder hits. People in the room sensed it too. They didn't know when, but everyone knew she was about to flip the script. Now here's where the tension starts to cook. Johnson begins pressing her with that "I'm the authority here" tone, thinking he's making a point that'll corner her. He raises his voice slightly, throws out numbers, and keeps glancing at the audience like he's collecting applause. You ever see someone who's more focused on the performance than the truth? That's exactly what's happening. The man's auditioning for his base, not realizing Jasmine's about to audition for history. She's still cool, barely blinking. When he finishes that so-called mic drop statement, she doesn't even react, just takes a slow breath, and that silence, it's heavy. That kind of silence that makes even his supporters shift in their seats. You could see him start to lose that fake grin, like, wait, why isn't this working? And then, right there, she leans forward, eyes locked, voice steady, and drops a single line that slices right through the noise. Not loud, not emotional, just surgical. The kind of line that makes you pause, rewind, and say, wait, what did she just say? Because that's when it happens, the flip. That one sentence and the entire hearing shifts. Johnson's body language goes from smug to stunned. The smirk fades. He tries to respond, but the words don't land anymore. Jasmine took his momentum, flipped it upside down, and made it hers. You could see the people behind her exchange looks, like they just watched something shift in real time. The crowd's quiet, the panel's quiet, even the mic feedback sounds nervous. And here's the crazy part, she didn't do it with anger. No yelling, no chaos, just composure. That's what hits hardest. In that calm tone, she took command, the kind of command that doesn't need to be announced, it's just felt. This is where emotion meets precision. You can feel the tension rising through the screen, her confidence feeding the silence, his frustration growing with every second. He tries to talk again, but now he's reacting to her, not the other way around. That's when you know who's in charge. The audience at home, they're glued. You can practically hear the collective "oh, damn" across living rooms. It's not just political anymore, it's psychological. Watching someone who thought they were the hunter suddenly realize they've been the prey the whole time. That's the moment Jasmine flipped it. You can feel the FOMO kicking in, like if you blink, you'll miss the exact second she takes the room. And this is only the beginning, because right after this, she's about to take that one sentence, that one reversal, and build on it. What comes next isn't just a rebuttal, it's the moment she turns his own narrative against him, piece by piece. So keep watching closely, because the tone you're hearing now, it's about to shift again. The trap's been sprung, but Jasmine hasn't even started pulling the thread yet. What she does next takes this whole exchange from heated to historic. And once you see it, you'll understand why people are still talking about this moment today. But hold up, because in the next part, you're going to see something wild. Mike Johnson tries to get his control back. He interrupts, he pushes, he even raises his voice. But the harder he tries, the worse it gets. She doesn't just defend herself, she owns him, calmly, piece by piece. That's coming up next, the exact turning point where the hearing goes from routine politics to pure chaos. Stay locked in, because Jasmine's about to flip the energy in that room once again, and this time, he won't recover from it. This was the exact moment she flipped the hearing, and you can literally see his face drop. Man, you ever watch someone realize in real time that they just messed up bad? That's exactly what happened here. Mike Johnson had been talking slick for minutes, thinking he had Jasmine cornered, stacking his words like dominoes. But the problem with dominoes? One push, and the whole thing comes crashing down. And Jasmine knew exactly where to push. She didn't rush it. She didn't bite the bait. She waited, eyes locked, posture still, calm like a chess player who's been 5 moves ahead the whole time. The room's still buzzing from Johnson's last jab, his voice echoing off the walls, trying to sound confident. But if you listen closely, that edge in his tone, it's slipping. He's trying to prove a point that even he doesn't believe anymore. Then she leans in just a little, and that's when the shift begins. You know that body language that says, okay, my turn? The type of move that freezes the whole room because everyone senses what's coming. And then she hits him with it. One line, one perfectly timed question that slices straight through the noise. No theatrics, no extra words, just truth. Clean, sharp, undeniable. And instantly, you can see it, that flicker on his face, the split second when confidence turns into panic. He looks like he's standing on a trapdoor. The man's blinking more, fumbling his papers, eyes darting to the side, hoping someone will jump in and save him. But nobody does. Even the chair stays quiet. Because everyone felt it. She flipped it. That's the power of precision. She didn't shout him down. She outthought him. Every syllable hit with purpose. It's that kind of composure that makes the whole room go, wait, did that just happen? And that's the beauty of Jasmine Crockett. She knows timing like a pro fighter. She doesn't swing wild, she waits for the opening, then lands one clean hit that ends the round. Johnson tries to recover. Classic move. He forces a laugh, tries to pivot the question, even leans into the mic like he's still in control. But it's over. You can't out-talk someone who just flipped your own logic against you. The audience can feel it too. That awkward shuffle, that quiet hum where people pretend they're not reacting, but everyone knows what just went down. And here's the kicker. Jasmine doesn't even smile. She just looks at him, calm, collected, and waits. That wait, that's psychological dominance. The silence becomes louder than any words. Johnson's searching for footing that isn't there anymore. You ever see a poker player go all in and then realize they've been bluffed the whole time? Same vibe. Now, for viewers at home, this is the moment you feel the flip. Emotionally, it's electric. You're not just watching politics, you're watching balance shift. The tension hits you in the chest. You're thinking, no way she just did that. But yeah, she did, and she's just getting started. What makes it hit harder is how intentional it is. You can tell this wasn't luck. Every word was calculated. That's why the FOMO kicks in, because you know something big is unfolding, and you don't want to blink. You want to see what she's about to do next, because deep down, you know she's not done. The camera cuts to Johnson again, and it's written all over his face. That half-second stare, that forced smirk, the quick sip of water, that's not composure, that's survival. He's trying to hold on to whatever dignity he has left, but Jasmine's already taken control of the narrative. From this point on, he's reacting. She's leading. And if you look closely, her tone doesn't even rise. That's the part that kills. Calm voice, slow pace, confident body language. She's making him unravel without raising her voice a single notch. That's the kind of dominance that doesn't come from volume. It comes from certainty. The hearing starts to feel different now. You can sense the energy shift across the room, like people are realizing, oh, this isn't going how he thought it would. That's what makes it so addictive to watch. You're not just seeing her win an argument, you're seeing her flip the power dynamic live. And remember this, that one line, it wasn't random. It wasn't an off-the-cuff punch. This was planned. She baited him into overextending, waited for him to say too much, and then dropped the line that turned his own logic back on him. That's strategy. That's mastery. And the best part? You can feel she's holding something back, like she's still got cards left to play. The way she pauses, the way she looks at the committee, she's setting up the next move. Because this moment, as powerful as it was, is just the turning point. In the next part, she's about to show exactly why this wasn't luck, it was preparation. She knew exactly where to hit, and now she's about to show the receipts that prove it. What's coming next isn't just powerful, it's devastating. And when you see it, you'll realize she didn't just win the argument, she owned the whole hearing. He tried to recover, but every word made it worse. You could see it in real time, man. He's spiraling. That fake confidence, gone. He's throwing out words just to fill the silence, hoping something sticks. But the more he talks, the deeper the hole gets. It's that classic moment when someone realizes they're not leading the room anymore. They're performing for it. You ever watch someone dig themselves in so deep you start feeling embarrassed for them? That's exactly what's happening here. Johnson keeps trying to take the mic back, trying to look like he's still got control, but his tone's cracking, his rhythm's off. You can literally feel him reaching, repeating the same points, hoping the noise will cover the loss. Meanwhile, Jasmine's just sitting there, calm, unbothered, like she's watching a slow-motion car crash she already predicted. That look on her face says it all. You're done, and you don't even realize it yet. And that's what makes this moment brutal, because she doesn't need to raise her voice, doesn't need to cut him off. She lets him keep talking, lets him expose himself. It's psychological chess at its finest. The audience in the room starts shifting. You can sense the awkward tension, that silent kind of energy where people are trying not to react, but the expressions give it away. A few smirks, some raised eyebrows, and that one dude in the back trying not to laugh, that's the collective ouch everyone's feeling. This isn't confidence anymore. It's collapse in slow motion. Johnson tries another angle, changes the subject, brings up a random point that has nothing to do with the issue. He's hoping to throw her off balance, to get her to chase his lead, but it's not working. She just watches him, not blinking, not flinching, waiting for him to finish. Then she slides in, quiet but razor sharp, with a line so measured it feels surgical. And boom, silence again. You can hear the paper shuffle, the air conditioner hum, that tiny sound of someone clearing their throat, because the tension just froze the room. This is what composure looks like. While he's unraveling, she's mastering the moment. Every beat of silence is power she's taking back. Every calm word is another reminder that she owns the tempo now. And you know what's wild? The more she stays composed, the more he starts unraveling. He interrupts himself, loses his train of thought, tries to over-explain, and that's where the emotional pull hits. Because as a viewer, you're cringing. You're thinking, dude, just stop talking. But he can't. He's too deep in it. Then Jasmine leans in, not aggressively, just enough to make it clear she's about to speak. And the room shifts again. You can feel that collective inhale, like everyone knows something's coming. Her voice stays even, smooth, but the words, they're loaded. She doesn't attack, she clarifies. That's the move that kills louder than any shout could. Because she's not just disproving him, she's exposing how flimsy his entire argument was. And the way she does it, precision. No wasted breath, no filler, just straight truth, layered with quiet authority. The kind that doesn't demand attention, but commands it. You can see Johnson's reaction, that half-second eye roll, the defensive smirk, the quick glance at his notes. That's not strategy, that's survival instinct. He's trying to hold his composure, but it's slipping with every second. The camera pans to the committee chair, and you can tell even they didn't expect this. That subtle eyebrow lift, that quick glance at Johnson like, you done? The energy's shifted completely now. This isn't his show anymore. It's hers. And here's what makes it genius. Jasmine doesn't gloat. She doesn't rub it in. She just sits back, calm, silent, letting the weight of her words hang in the air. That's dominance through restraint. She knows she's won the exchange, and she's not even celebrating it. That quiet confidence, that's what burns. From here, every second Johnson speaks feels forced. He's trying to salvage the moment, but it's already gone. His tone's defensive now, like he's arguing with himself. The audience isn't buying it. The energy's shifted, and everyone knows it. The hearing that started as his platform has become her stage. Now, here's the part that seals it. Jasmine drops one more comment, not even loud, just deliberate. Something like a casual reminder of the facts he's been ignoring. And it lands like a thunderclap. The chair literally pauses, caught off guard. You can see it in their face. They weren't ready for that. Even the other members glance around, trying to process what just happened. That's when it hits you as a viewer. She didn't just win an exchange, she dismantled his credibility, piece by piece, and made it look effortless. You can't fake that kind of composure. You can't script that kind of presence. That's raw control. By now, Johnson's tone has shifted completely. The bravado's gone, he's quieter, uncertain, fumbling to close his point. The same man who started this hearing trying to dominate it is now just trying to get out without losing more ground. And Jasmine, she's sitting back, letting it all unfold. You feel the secondhand embarrassment, but you also feel that satisfaction, because what you just witnessed wasn't just a political moment. It was a power shift, a live, unfiltered example of how composure and intelligence always outlast noise and ego. And she's not done yet, because her next move, that's the one that even the committee chair didn't see coming, the one that'll make the entire room go silent. You'll see it in just a second, when she turns this from a clash into a statement. And that's where everything goes from brutal to unforgettable. Most people would have backed off right there, but not Jasmine. Nah, she doubled down, and that's where things got wild. You could literally feel the energy in the room shift from tension to disbelief. Like everyone was thinking, wait, did she just flip his own words back at him? That's political jujitsu right there, using his own momentum to drop him flat. Johnson had come in swinging, trying to corner her with his usual talking points, but Jasmine wasn't playing defense anymore. She steps right into it, no hesitation, and starts breaking down his argument piece by piece, using the same words he just said 2 minutes ago. That's when you realize this isn't luck. She's been listening, calculating, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The crowd, you can sense they know something's coming, that eerie kind of quiet before the drop. Johnson's talking faster now, throwing around numbers, buzzwords, anything to look like he's still in control. But Jasmine's body language is calm. She's already 3 steps ahead. You can almost see it in her eyes. Keep talking, I'm about to use that. Then she hits him, not with anger, not with volume, but with precision. So, Congressman, are you admitting that, and that's it? He freezes. You can see his face change instantly. It's that look people get when they realize the trap they set just closed on them. The committee goes quiet. You can hear someone's pen drop. Johnson's trying to find a way out, but the problem is, every route he takes leads straight back to the words he already said. That's the beauty of what Jasmine's doing here. She's not inventing arguments, she's mirroring his own points until they collapse on themselves. It's brutal, but it's clean. She's not grandstanding, she's teaching him, and everyone watching, how facts hit harder than volume ever could. You can see a couple of other members on the panel glancing at each other, like they can't believe what they're seeing. One even leans back, half smiling, because yeah, this is the moment everyone's going to be talking about later. Johnson tries to cut in again, but his tone's different now, defensive, shaky, like he's trying to grab air that's already gone. Jasmine lets him speak, just enough rope, and then calmly says, "You just made my point for me." Boom, that's the knockout line. No need for shouting, no need for drama, just pure surgical control. That line lands so hard, you can see the realization ripple through the room. Even the folks sitting behind her react, a quick glance, a subtle nod, because everyone knows what just happened. He thought he had her cornered, but she's standing right over the map now, pointing out every weak spot in his plan. You can hear murmurs in the background, like the air's been sucked out of the hearing. That's the power of composure. She's dictating the rhythm, controlling when it speeds up, when it stops, when it hurts. And right now, it hurts. Johnson's trying to pivot, asking questions that sound strong, but don't land. His eyes flick to the chair, maybe hoping for backup, but even the chair's quiet, because how do you interrupt someone who's that composed, that clear? Jasmine leans in again, not for drama, but for clarity. Every word is deliberate. Every pause is timed. Congressman, you just confirmed exactly what I said. I'm just glad it's on record now. That line's the one that burns slow. It's not a jab, it's a timestamp. She's locking in his own words as evidence. You can see Johnson's jaw tighten. That fake smile, the forced laugh, classic politician defense mode. But it's too late. The room knows he's rattled. The audience watching online is already clipping this moment. It's got that perfect viral mix. Sharp, unexpected, and brutally satisfying. And the best part? Jasmine's not celebrating it. She just sits back, organizing her papers, like she didn't just dismantle a sitting congressman on live TV. That's what makes it sting even more. It's like watching someone win a chess game and quietly reset the board while the opponent's still trying to figure out what happened. Johnson gives one last weak retort, something about respectful discourse or partisan tone, but it's hollow. Everyone can hear it. He's just trying to save face now. The authority he walked in with? Gone. The confidence? Gone. He's talking to fill space, not to make a point. And then it hits, that split second of silence. No one moves, no one interrupts. It's the kind of silence you only get when the crowd collectively realizes, yeah, that's it, she won. The chair looks around, half wondering if it's time to move on, because there's nowhere else for this to go. That's the power of the counterattack done right. She didn't just respond, she reversed the energy. Every word he threw at her came back stronger, sharper, perfectly timed. That's not luck, that's control, intellect, and presence, the trifecta that breaks even the most confident opponent. And as the clip fades, you can feel it, that FOMO, that need to see what happens next, because this didn't just end a back and forth. It set up the moment that no one in that room saw coming, the one that makes the air freeze. And what comes next? That's when the entire room goes dead silent. You could hear a pin drop. Even his own allies stopped backing him up. That's how thick the silence was. The kind of silence that hits after someone realizes the room just flipped sides. The whole vibe changed. A few minutes ago, Johnson had backup, people nodding, murmuring, "That's right," hyping him up. But now, nobody's saying a word. Even the ones who came ready to defend him are staring at their notes, pretending to look busy. That's when you know the fight's over, when your own side stops clapping. The air feels heavy. Every sound is amplified. You can hear the rustle of papers, the shuffle of a chair, a cough from the back. But nobody wants to speak first. Everyone's watching Jasmine. The camera catches her face, calm, composed, not smiling, not gloating, just there, fully in control. You can feel the dominance in her stillness. It's that quiet type of power that doesn't need to prove itself anymore. Johnson's eyes are darting now, searching for an escape, maybe waiting for someone to jump in and save him, but no one does. His expression shifts from frustration to disbelief, like he's realizing in real time that he lost the room. It's that political nightmare moment where confidence turns into silence and silence turns into exposure. And the funny part? Jasmine's not saying a word either. She's letting the silence do the talking. Because in moments like that, silence is the statement. Every second that ticks by feels louder than any argument could be. The audience watching knows it too. You can almost hear the comment section loading up. People typing, "Damn, she really just let him hang there." This is where everything slows down. The camera lingers, the reactions tell the story. One staffer glances at another, trying not to laugh. A member behind Johnson shakes his head, like he walked into this one. The tension's so strong, it's almost cinematic. You know that feeling when the crowd senses something big just happened, but they're too stunned to react? That's exactly what this moment is. And Jasmine? She breaks the silence perfectly. Just a calm breath, adjusts her mic, and says something simple. Something like, "Are you finished, Congressman?" And that's it. That one line cracks the silence wide open. You can practically hear the oxygen rush back into the room. But it's not laughter or chaos, it's that awkward shuffle of people realizing she just regained total control. Johnson tries to respond, but his voice betrays him. There's hesitation, his tone's softer now, less sure. He starts explaining, not debating, which tells you everything you need to know. The man who came in swinging is now trying to justify. And Jasmine doesn't even interrupt. She just listens, nodding occasionally, letting him dig deeper. You can feel the emotional tension through the screen. It's uncomfortable, but addictive. You don't want to look away. That's the power of a silence moment done right. It traps the audience because everyone's waiting for the next move. Then she leans forward. Not much, just enough to signal that she's about to speak again. And the room freezes again. That's how much command she's got now. No gavel, no title, just presence. And then she says, calm as ever, let's go over what you just said. One more time. You can literally see Johnson's face fall. That's when it hits everyone watching. She's not just defending herself anymore. She's building something. You can sense it. The shift from defense to offense is complete. She's preparing to bring out proof, the kind that doesn't need loud words or dramatics, just cold, undeniable facts. The committee members start glancing between her and Johnson, waiting. Someone whispers to another, probably realizing what's coming. Johnson looks down at his papers, like maybe there's a note that can save him, but there's not. You can almost feel the panic through the camera. He knows something's about to drop, and there's nothing he can do to stop it. Then Jasmine says it, calm, deliberate. Because if we're talking facts, I've got the documentation right here. And boom, the silence turns electric. That one word, documentation, hits harder than any insult. You can see eyes widen, jaws tighten, people shifting in their seats. This isn't just a debate anymore. This is about to become evidence. And the timing is perfect. That's what makes it so powerful. She lets the anticipation build just long enough to make everyone lean in, waiting for what she's about to reveal. This isn't just courtroom energy, it's cinematic. The whole audience, both in the room and online, can feel that chill run through them. Johnson stammers, tries to interject, but it's too late. The balance of power has completely flipped. Jasmine's got the proof, and now everyone knows it. She hasn't even shown it yet, but the way she says it, calm, unshaken, makes it clear that whatever's in those papers, it's real, and it's about to wreck his argument. And that's the thing. This silence moment isn't empty. It's full of meaning. It's the turning pause before impact, the kind of tension that hooks viewers so deep they need to see what happens next, because she's not just defending her point, she's about to prove it. The camera zooms in slightly, catching that moment where she reaches for the folder. Johnson's expression says everything. Regret, realization, maybe even fear. He knows it's coming. Everyone knows it's coming. And that's when you, as a viewer, can't look away. You're glued to the screen, waiting for the reveal. Because if the silence felt this powerful, just imagine what happens when she finally speaks again. But Jasmine wasn't just defending herself. She had receipts coming. When she pulled out those documents, you could see the panic hit. It was instant, like every ounce of confidence drained from Johnson's face. The camera caught it perfectly, that half second where his jaw locked and his eyes flicked toward the chair, like maybe someone could stop what was about to happen. But no one moved. The committee wasn't ready for this, and you could feel it. That shuffle of papers, that nervous cough from the corner, it's the universal sign that something real just landed on the table. Jasmine lays the papers down like a mic drop in slow motion. Calm, steady, no theatrics, just pure authority. And the tone in the room shifts from tension to shock. People lean in, trying to see what she's holding. You can almost hear the thought in everyone's mind. No way she actually brought proof. Johnson tries to keep his composure. He adjusts his tie, taps his pen, forces that awkward politician smile, the one that says, "I'm fine," but really means, "I'm cooked." He mumbles something about out of context or not relevant, but it doesn't land. Because Jasmine's not guessing. She's reading, word for word, straight from the document. Her voice is steady, not dramatic, just confident. It's that quiet kind of dominance that burns deeper than shouting ever could. Every word feels like a nail sealing the case shut. Johnson's starting to sweat, literally. He's shifting in his chair, taking quick sips of water, trying to look unbothered, but failing miserably. He leans forward to interrupt, but Jasmine doesn't even blink. She just raises one hand lightly, and the chair instinctively says, "Let her finish." That's when you know she's completely taken over. And then she says it, the line that makes the entire hearing freeze. "Congressman, are you aware that your office sent this memo just 2 days before the statement you're denying?" Boom. The impact's instant. The camera zooms in on his face. His mouth opens like he's about to answer. But there's nothing, just silence. Pure, unfiltered, caught on record. You can feel that disbelief ripple through everyone watching. That classic, "No way she just said that on live TV." It's raw, it's real, and it's humiliating. But she doesn't twist the knife. She lets the documents speak for themselves. That's what makes it devastating. The committee chair clears their throat, maybe trying to shift topics, but even they can't move past it. Because once you drop hard evidence like that, the energy doesn't reset. It lingers. It stains the air. Everyone knows the clip's already burned into the internet. Johnson tries to pivot, something about procedural misunderstanding, but Jasmine slides another page forward. Actually, that's not what this says either. It's surgical. Every time he tries to step out, she pulls him right back in, using his own documentation. And here's what's wild. She's not angry, not even smug. She's calm, precise, almost disappointed. That's what makes it sting more. Because it's not about winning, it's about exposing the truth so cleanly that no one can spin it. The camera catches a few reactions, one member rubbing his forehead, another biting his lip to hide a smirk. Even the audience behind them looks stunned. One woman mouths, "Wow." And yeah, that's the only word that fits. Wow. The disbelief builds as Jasmine closes the folder. You can see Johnson's shoulders slump a little, his whole posture shrinking. He knows it's done. You don't come back from having your own words turned into evidence. Not in front of cameras, not when millions are watching. The way Jasmine ends it is perfection. She looks at the chair and says calmly, "I just wanted to make sure the record reflects the truth." That's it. No mic drop needed. The room is dead quiet. Even the people who were ready to defend Johnson have gone still. It's over. You can feel the weight of it even as a viewer. The disbelief, the secondhand shock, the quiet satisfaction. Because this isn't just another political moment. It's justice unfolding live. Without shouting, without chaos, just facts. And that's when you realize this wasn't a clash anymore. It was exposure. Clean, precise, and unforgettable. Now here's where it turns from political to personal, and that's when it hits hardest. He thought he could talk his way out, but by this point, everyone in that room knew he was cooked. You could see it in his face, that "oh damn" moment when he realized she wasn't just matching his energy, she was dismantling it piece by piece. And the crazy part? She wasn't even raising her voice. That's the kind of power Jasmine Crockett carries. Calm, surgical, and absolutely lethal when someone underestimates her. The air in that committee room shifted. You could literally feel it through the screen. He's trying to keep the smirk going, to make it look like he's in control, but his hands are giving him away. The fake confidence is cracking. And Jasmine, she's just sitting there, waiting. That's what makes it worse. She doesn't even have to rush. Every time he interrupts, she pauses, and when she speaks again, it's like a lawyer walking a witness into their own trap. Now watch this closely. The exchange turns personal. He throws in that subtle jab, trying to make it sound like just politics, but everyone watching knows that tone. It's that dismissive, patronizing energy, and Jasmine's expression says it all. You just made a big mistake. Her voice drops a little lower, slower, controlled. With all due respect, she starts, and that's the verbal equivalent of loading the chamber. She hits him not with anger, but with precision. Every word is measured, layered with that kind of authority that comes from knowing you're right. He tries to cut her off again, and that's when it happens. She looks straight at him, pauses for half a beat, and says something so sharp the entire room goes dead still. The cameras pan, and you can see the people behind him avoid eye contact. Nobody's jumping in to save him now. That's the beauty of her delivery. It's not just what she says, it's how she says it. Every syllable lands like a gavel, and he knows it. The more he talks, the deeper he digs. You ever seen someone argue themselves into a corner and then try to claw their way out while pretending they're winning? That's exactly what this looked like. He keeps reaching for talking points, but every single one gets flipped right back at him. Political self-destruction, live and unedited. Now here's the emotional pull. This isn't just a battle of words. You can see what it represents. Every time a woman in that room has been talked over, dismissed, or underestimated, this moment hits like justice. It's not loud revenge, it's righteous calm. She's not trying to humiliate him, she's making sure the truth lands, no matter how uncomfortable it gets. And that silence after her line, it's deafening. Nobody moves. Even the chair looks unsure of what to do next. He stares down at his notes, pretending to read something, but everyone knows the energy's gone. She took it all. That's the kind of moment that doesn't just go viral, it echoes. But hold up, because what she says next, that's when the entire hearing shifts from heated to historic. You think it's over, but her final words, man, they land like a closing argument. Calm, precise, final. She leans forward just a little and says it, the line that will be replayed 1,000 times across every political feed in the country. The crowd doesn't need to cheer. The silence is the applause. That's when you realize this wasn't about scoring points. It was about setting the record straight, permanently. And when she finishes, there's this tiny smirk, not arrogance, just quiet satisfaction, like she knows the replay's gonna do the rest. Next up, you're going to see why those final words hit harder than any headline, because that's when it stopped being a debate and turned into a reckoning. He didn't even realize it was over, but everyone else in that room did. You could feel it, the shift, the silence, the weight of a moment that didn't need shouting to make history. She didn't yell, she didn't raise her voice, she just looked straight at him and ended it. That's the kind of calm that cuts deeper than any insult ever could. It's the quiet confidence of someone who knows they've already won. He's still talking, fumbling through his notes, trying to find something, anything, to claw back control, but it's done. The argument's over. The way she holds eye contact, steady and unbothered, tells the whole story. She doesn't have to prove a thing. You can literally see it in her posture. She's not debating anymore, she's teaching. And what's wild is, she doesn't even move much. No hand gestures, no dramatics, just presence. That kind of stillness only comes from power, from being so confident in your position that silence becomes your loudest weapon. The longer she sits there, the more uncomfortable it gets for him. Every pause she takes feels like a mirror being held up to her own words. He tries one last deflection, something about staying on topic, trying to sound composed, but the damage is done. You can see the realization flash across his face. She just outplayed me on every level. And the audience? They're locked in. Not a sound, not a whisper. Everyone's waiting for her to say one last thing, and when she finally does, it's not angry, it's surgical. Her tone drops low, her delivery clean. If you had listened instead of assuming, you might have learned something. That's it. That's the knockout punch. Quiet, calm, and absolutely devastating. No raised voice, no insult, just facts and poise, hitting harder than any shouting match ever could. You can almost feel the secondhand embarrassment through the screen. He stares down at his notes again, pretending to write something, but it's over. Jasmine Crockett just closed the chapter with the kind of composure that makes history replay itself. The chair tries to move things along, but even the gavel sounds weak compared to her last line. You can see people exchanging glances, like, did that really just happen? And this is where the payoff hits for the audience. This isn't just another viral moment. It's a lesson in control, in grace under fire, in what happens when preparation meets poise. She didn't just win the exchange. She rewrote the rules mid-hearing. That's why people keep coming back to her clips, because every time she turns chaos into a classroom. Now look at her expression as she leans back. Calm, collected, not gloating. That's not victory by accident. That's strategy. Every move she made in that exchange was calculated. She let him dig, then quietly took away the shovel. Political mastery, live and on record. And the beauty of it all, it wasn't personal, but it felt personal because it revealed who was really in control the whole time. That's why this clip hits so hard. It's not just politics, it's performance, precision, and truth all rolled into one. As the hearing wraps up, the camera pans back to her, still steady, still unfazed. Meanwhile, he's avoiding eye contact, pretending to check his phone, pretending the room isn't watching him implode in real time. But it's too late. That silence she left hanging, that's the sound of authority reclaiming the floor. And just before the fade out, she gives that final nod. Subtle, almost unnoticeable, but loaded with meaning. That's the I said what I said moment. You can't script authenticity like that. It just happens when someone's completely in control of their space. That's why you never underestimate Jasmine Crockett, because she doesn't need to shout to shut you down. She just lets the truth do the talking. And if you thought that was wild, wait till you see her next exchange with Matt Gaetz. It's sharper, colder, and way more brutal. You won't believe how fast she flips that one. Stay tuned, because the storm's just getting started.